Well, I didn't come on here live as early as I did the last few days, simply because kids went back to school, kind of a normal Monday type of thing, so couldn't really do that today. But, madness, it's, it's still strong. The madness is still strong, guys. I actually did a video earlier today, and I counted 18 upsets. And by upset, I mean the favorite lost. The underdog won. 1 point favorite all the way up to a 16-point favorite. And it didn't let up today. We had another one. Iowa upsets Oregon. I think they were like a 5-point dog. But daggum, what is going on? Usually you can make a chalk bracket, meaning you just take the high seed the whole way. The highest seed, advances. That's called a chalk bracket. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Make sure the phone's off. Alright, we're good. So, chalk bracket. This year would have been crap. If you had a chalk bracket, it would have looked terrible. Bad. Horrific. I actually did a chalk bracket. Let me check my chalk bracket. Because I made 14 brackets on ESPN. And some of them are doing alright. Some of them are not. I want to see what my lowest one is. Let's see. Dadgummit, I keep forgetting on my laptop I gotta log in. Okay. So let me check on my chalk bracket. I think it's doing terrible. Probably doing terrible. Okay, so the 13, I think that's the one. No, that's not the one. Gonzaga has to be the chalk. Because that would be the number 1 overall. Alright, so my chalk bracket. Holy cripes. Holy cripes. Yeah, chalk bracket is bad, guys. Wow, it's one of my lowest brackets. It's not my lowest, but it's one of my lowest. Jeez. Let me check my other bracket. Are any of my brackets any good? I don't know. Dadgum. Yeah. I don't have a great bracket right now. I was in a 97%, but then yesterday happened. And I have never seen madness like I've seen this year. Never. And watch out for Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago is going to be a household name within the next 3 or 4 years, just like Gonzaga. They're in the same position Gonzaga was several years back, and look at Gonzaga now. Now they're a number 1 overall seed. They're recruiting the heck out of shooters, and they're dominating. They just showed a replay of the dude doing 4 fakes and eventually getting himself open. He went this way, then this way, then this way, without taking one single dribble, without passing one single time. Just swiveling 4 times. And he just flat out swiveled the dude. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that. So we got the Pac-12 on fire. I'm not even gonna try to put money up against the Pac-12 anymore. I learned my lesson. Maybe it's just gonna be Oregon versus USC, something like that. I don't know. Pac-12 looks great. Big 12, we took a hit yesterday. Big 10, terrible, not good. ACC, not good. Syracuse got a win yesterday, and I heard it from ACC fans because they got a win and one team into the Sweet 16. Congratulations. You were still 2-5 in the first round. So, yeah. You didn't have a good tournament. Even if Syracuse somehow blazes through the rest of this and wins the national championship, doesn't matter. You had a bad tournament. I will say I've been pleasantly surprised when it comes to the setup of the Indiana bubble. I like all these different venues. Right now, I'm watching Oklahoma and Gonzaga. They're playing in Hinkle Fieldhouse. I know they also played in Freedom Hall, Indiana's basketball court. They played in West Lafayette, which is Purdue's. Whoa, Gonzaga, big time falling asleep right there. Um, West Lafayette, Purdue's. Um, I think they played in Notre Dame Stadium. I know they played in the Pacers Stadium. I know they're playing in the Colts Stadium. So it's actually a pretty cool bubble. Uh, it's not side to side on the country where everybody's spread out, but Indiana's a fairly decent sized state, so they are spread out a little bit. So, it's crazy. The cool thing about watching the tournament this year is seeing all these different venues, but then realizing it's in the same state. So the venues look completely different, but they're in the same state. Indiana has a ton of basketball stadiums, and they are using the heck out of them. The one I'm watching now, Gonzaga, Oklahoma, Hinkle, Fieldhouse. If you've never seen the movie Hoosiers, go watch it. That's where that film was made. It's an amazing historic stadium. So uh, there's so many stadiums they're using. It's pretty cool. Right now, the only thing you can count on is Gonzaga, and I mean they're up by 10 right now. I don't think Oklahoma will come back on them, but you never know. Any team can get hot. 19 upsets though. 19 freaking upsets. How does that happen? How does that happen? I've never seen it happen before. Gonzaga just nails another one. I mean, I know I've made a big deal out of this for a while now. Seeding, they screwed the pooch on seeding. Um, and the matchups just favored the underdogs, and they vastly underrated the Pac-12 and vastly overrated the Big Ten and the ACC. So they went by name recognition, and this is what we get: madness, which I'm good with. Madness is fine. And even my team went down yesterday to Syracuse and upset. It sucks. It still sucks, but I'm just soaking in the madness. I kind of figured West Virginia wasn't going to win the national championship, so having that in my head, they're going to lose at some point. Now, I didn't think they would lose in the second round, but the way this tournament is going, didn't really surprise me either. Did not really surprise me, so it is what it is. How many likes do my videos average? Regular videos, I would say between, I don't know, 20 and 30, something like that. Now, live videos, it depends on how big of an audience I get. For live videos, if I have a decent size audience, I can average 20, 25 maybe, something like that. But, smaller video like this, like we don't have very many people watching right now. So, you just got to go with how many people are watching. The more people are watching, the more likes you can get. So, it all depends on your audience size. And I know people are working right now, but I'm just trying to stick to my word as far as doing live shows every single day of the first weekend of March Madness. And it's been madness for real. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. So after this is all said and done, we're gonna start looking forward to football season. That is my true forte. I love it. I mean, I love college basketball too, but college football is just a whole different level. So we'll start pumping out season previews for each team, and then conference standings. How I think the conference standings will look at the end of the year. So we'll get that started as soon as March Madness is over. I might try to actually squeeze one in here during March Madness. I think I can squeeze a couple out during March Madness. But I try to give March Madness its full glory. If you're wondering why I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm watching the basketball game too. So Gonzaga's stretching their lead up to 14 now. They're up 53-38. I think Oklahoma's doing all right. Ugly uniforms. Yeah, I need to get back to that. Yes, I have kind of gotten off track on that. I need to go back and see what conferences I've missed. I know I've done Big 12, Big 10, ACC, SEC, Pac 12. That's the one. That's the big one. I was saving that one for last as far as the Power 5, but even the Group of Fives, they have some rough ones as well. But I want those will definitely probably come after March Madness because I want people to be more in a football mindset whenever I put those out. So, yeah, I would definitely finish that. Stadiums, I'll finish that. And I was thinking of something else, but I can't remember. Maybe a mascot bracket. I was thinking about doing a mascot bracket as far as going through. I don't know how I'm going to do the seating and all that stuff, but maybe do a vote, something like that. I don't know. Um, Honest opinion about Western Kentucky uniforms. Well, from what I've seen, I haven't seen like anything truly ugly, but I'll have to wait until I do the Group of Five conferences um, to actually break that down and rank them. So I'm going to run into some very fascinating stadiums and um, uniforms when it comes to the Group of Five uh, teams. They got some crazy ones out there for sure. And then I'm going to try to do the bracket for the mascots. That's gonna be pretty good. Now for that though, I'm going to stick to football. I'm not going to, there's way too many mascots. If I did basketball, I would be doing every single conference. So we're going to stick to the 130 in the Group of Five and Power Five, and of course the independents. And it's going to be interesting because there's many different teams that have Wildcats, and that have Tigers, stuff like that. So we'll go by their actual. I know I said mascot, but I think I'm going to go by their actual logo. We'll go logo bracketing. How about that? We'll do logo bracketing. And I'm starting to figure out how to do different things on YouTube, like doing polls, votings, and all that stuff. So I might set up like a vote for each region, whatever, and then base my video on how the votes go. That way, it's not just my opinion. I'm literally doing it based on votes. So we'll try to do it that way. I think it'll work out. Man, they got some stupid commercials on right now. My goodness. What happened to the old school, burn into your brain commercials? Nowadays it's just random stupidity. And I was talking to my wife. I actually have this idea. Once this channel gets big enough, my sports YouTube channel, I was thinking about uh, starting like a secondary YouTube channel where I go and I actually like critique these commercials. Like that would be a nice outlet, even if it's not like something serious. It would be a nice outlet for me to almost vent, to get it out of my system. Because I sit there and watch TV with her and I'm like, man, I hate this commercial. This commercial is stupid. Why did they do that? Why did they say that? So it would be a way for me to vent my frustrations with all these stupid commercials. As far as my 1K celebration, we've had some issues as far as people being able to come together for an actual party. So the actual celebration hasn't happened yet. Now I did do a 1,000 subscriber video, but that was basically for you guys. But an actual celebration hasn't happened yet because of some. I want it to just be. I want family to be involved, so I want to do like a video with me. Might be a live, might be a pre-taped. I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out whenever we can get everybody together. Promise I haven't forgot about that. But I did do a a 1,000 video where I put it out, saying we got to 1,000, and it was because of you guys, and I really do appreciate y'all. Y'all, I mean, you don't have a YouTube channel without your subscribers. That's just how it is. You can be the most creative person, have the best personality, whatever, but if the people don't hit that subscribe button, then it doesn't mean anything. Nothing. So you got to build it brick by brick. I honestly thought it was going to take several years to get to 1,000 because at the 1 year mark, I was fighting to get to 200. So in my head, I was like, man, if I'm going to be fighting to get 200 every year, that's 5 years. 5 freaking years. It's crazy. And then, boom, it just exploded on me. So, kind of caught me by surprise. So, we're kind of behind on some updates we need to do. But we're on it. We're going to take care of it. Me and my brother are making sure everything gets updated the way it needs to be updated. Because you want to, whenever you do start, having that amount of subscribers, you want to put out the best quality, not just the best content, personality, whatever. You want the best quality to go along with it. Studio lighting, background, audio, all that stuff. You want it to be the best you can possibly have it. So, all the money that I'm making right now, which isn't much, when you get to 1,000, trust me, you're not making a bunch of money. You're not. Promise you that. But the little bit that I am making, it's going back into the channel. So whatever I'm making, it's going to go back in. Personal brackets. Hold on. In my personal brackets, which got blown up, I had the lowest seed was North Carolina. I had North Carolina an 8 seed getting to the Final Four, so that got blown up. But as far as who's left, I think Loyola Chicago has the best chance. They looked really good against Illinois yesterday. Really good. But now you got to worry about Oregon State. So the thing is, if Syracuse knocks off Houston, then the lowest seed possible, or the highest of the lowest seed possible getting into the Final Four would be Loyola Chicago, an 8 seed. That's really, that's rare, except for, when it happens every once in a while. You had your George Masons, Gonzaga back in the day, Loyola Chicago. But I like how Loyola Chicago played Illinois. They played them. They just shot the ball really, really well. And that's how you win these games. It's been proven defense helps, but shooting is what wins you games. Even if you watch the West Virginia-Syracuse game, yes, the 2-3 zone frustrated West Virginia. But had Syracuse not been on fire, they would have not won that game. They were on fire shooting. That's what really won the game for Syracuse. Because eventually West Virginia pretty much figured out the 2-3, started getting momentum, making runs. If Syracuse didn't answer with runs of their own, bigger runs, they might have got blown out. So yeah, I think this tournament comes down to scoring. I'm not familiar with. Hold on, let me look him up. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name. But I'll look him up real quick. Let's see. Did they play today? No, they played yesterday. Duh. They beat Illinois. But they have a bunch of good shooters, not just big guys and defense. Talk about Loyola. So for them, I hope Hutchinson for Michigan's all right. That would be a big blow. Krutwig is who you're thinking of, the center for the Ramblers. He leads the team in points per game at 15 and leads the team in rebounds per game, of course, 6.9. I'm surprised he doesn't average a double-double. That actually kind of surprises me. But he is definitely necessary for them. And I'm looking at their roster, man. Loyola Chicago, they're a deep team too. I mean, they go a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'd say a good 12 deep. Their bench is really, really deep. So I'm actually really impressed about that. That's I didn't even realize that. Not at all. And I think the committee is regretting not putting Belmont in. I think they're regretting that. I think Belmont would have been a good team. But you look at Loyola Chicago, dang gum, you don't realize 26-4, and they went. They won 14 out of their last 15 games. That is crazy. Crazy. Indiana's probably the most intriguing coaching as far as searching for coaches in basketball. I'm kind of waiting to see what Texas does with Shaka Smart because they're known for making stupid decisions. I mean, it would be really dumb to fire him, but they lost in the first round. Their season wasn't as great as Longhorn fans were hoping, even though they won the Big 12 tournament, and it was because Shaka literally got COVID and had to sit out, several weeks. But Texas fans, as far as the ones that control the actual university, not known for making great decisions. As a whole, the fan base, they're all right. They get on my nerves sometimes because they whine about the horns down, but that's just a West Virginia thing. So if Shaka Smart becomes available, if I were Indiana, I would snatch him up immediately. I'm trying to think of who would be hot as far as like a mid-major coach. Honestly, I think the coach for Abilene Christian has a future in the bigger schools. I really do. He's got his guys playing really, really good. Sorry, I'm checking my clock because I got to go pick up my wife from work because our secondary vehicle is in the shop from that wreck I had a month ago. So it's getting fixed. It'll be back on Wednesday. So that'll be fine. Yeah, for football, Texas is really a big dilemma. Of course, they can recruit really, really well, and they have the money, and they go after the big names, but something's not right. I don't know what it is. Something is off. I actually think Tom Herman was doing a halfway decent job. He got 10 wins a couple seasons ago. He did have a letdown season in 2019, but I think in 2020, I mean, didn't they go like 7-3? That's not bad. And they did lose some talent from, and experience. So I don't agree with that. Firing by Texas. I think Texas should have definitely kept a hold of him. I think Tom Herman is actually a really good coach. Don't like his personality. Whines just a little bit. Maybe that played a factor into it. Combined with he didn't meet their expectations. Maybe they were sick of hearing it from people because he did have the reputation of whining, and they were probably sick of being associated with the whiner. Maybe that played a part into it. I don't know. I just think it was a mistake, and I think I've said this before, but I'm going to stick to it. I think he would be a perfect fit at Miami. Uh, Manny Diaz, I mean, he's doing all right, but his recruiting skills, oh my gosh, not all the way there, guys. He was able to get the transfer to Eric King. That was a big help, and I think Miami will be the third best team in the ACC next year, right behind Clemson and North Carolina. Maybe they can pull off a crazy upset. You never know. They do have the talent and experience coming back, so um, we'll see how that goes. But I still have them finishing behind North Carolina in. Well, if they have divisions, I'm not sure if they're going. You never know because of how crazy things are. But it seems like we're trying to get back to normality, and hopefully we do. So if that's the case, then they should have Coastal and Atlantic. So I would have Miami finishing second in the Coastal. I'd have North Carolina finishing first. North Carolina is just going to be, they're going to be a beast. Man, they're going to be great. North Carolina has an opportunity to go undefeated. They really do. I don't think they have to play Clemson this year. They get Miami at home, I think. Yeah, because they blew out Miami. They blew out Miami in Miami last year, so they get Miami at home, so that'll help. Not sure what they're. You know what? Let me give me 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna check North Carolina's schedule real quick. See what's going on with them. So I know they get Miami at home. I know that for sure. But so in their non-conference, they get Georgia State, which is not a gimme, but it's not awful. And Wofford, is that it? Well, they do have the road game to Notre Dame. I guess that counts as no, that's not a non-con, even though they're not a full member. So their toughest games, but I think Notre Dame takes a big step back. I think that's a very, very, very winnable game for North Carolina. So they start off the season at Virginia Tech. That should be a win. Home against Georgia State, closer than people realize. Win. Home against Virginia, win. At Georgia Tech, win. Tougher than what you would think. Home against Duke, win. Home against Florida State, win. Home against Miami, win. And then at Notre Dame. I think that's a win, though. Really, this might sound crazy, but the two games that I would be concerned with for North Carolina is at Pitt. The reason I say that is Pitt is good at lulling you to sleep. And the thing is, it's at the end of the season. So, that's when you're looking, towards trying to finish undefeated or trying to get better position for a bowl or you're fighting for the ACC championship, stuff like that. That's one thing that Pitt's good at. They're good at capitalizing on distractions. They know when a team is distracted on bigger and better things, and they just kind of sneak in there and sneak in that upset and sneak out. And before you know it, you got upset. You're like, man, what the heck happened? I didn't even know. Were we even playing Pitt? What happened? They're good at that. So you got to keep an eye on that road trip to Pitt. And then that last game at NC State. That's a rivalry game. And things can get crazy in rivalry games. So those are honestly, I'm being honest, those would be the two games, if you're a North Carolina fan, that I would be concerned with the most. Because they're gonna be up and ready for, Miami and Notre Dame Tough games, yes, but North Carolina will be ready. So we look at Miami on the flip side, and they start off the season against Alabama. Dadgummit. And yes, I've given them a chance to beat Alabama because Alabama lost everybody on offense, and that does matter. And Miami gets everybody back on offense, and that matters. They did lose Brevin Jordan, that awesome tight end, but they also got the transfer from Oklahoma, Charleston Rambo. So that helps. Besides Alabama, though, they get a home game against Appalachian State. Appalachian State, not as good as they usually are. That's probably a win. Michigan State at home, win. Charleston Southern, I think. Who is that? Hold on, guys. That Charleston Southern? Who is? No, Central Connecticut. Jeez. Yeah, that's a win. Central Connecticut. Then they start the ACC. Virginia at home, win. At North Carolina, loss. NC State, and they have a road trip to Pitt as well, so Pitt can do it to them too. Georgia Tech at Florida State, Virginia Tech, Duke. So Miami could have upwards of 3 losses next year, and that would still be a decent season. But with everybody coming back, that would definitely be a letdown season for the Canes. Most definitely. So, yeah. All right, bud, go do your homework. Definitely don't want the channel to be any kind of hindrance to somebody trying to get through school. Definitely, that would, yeah, that would definitely weigh on my conscience. So go do your homework. So there's Miami. Oh yeah, Clemson. Of course, we all expect Clemson to win the ACC, get to the playoffs. But they start out the season with Georgia, and I actually think that's going to be a loss. Georgia comes back loaded. And then they get South Carolina State, that's a win. Georgia Tech at home, that's a win. At NC State, at probably an easy win. Boston College, win. At Syracuse, win. At Pitt. I've already said it with Miami, North Carolina. Just keep an eye on them, but Clemson should be far and away the better team. Florida State, at Louisville. Louisville's going to be much better this year. UConn, Wake, at South Carolina. South Carolina's they're trying to be competitive with Clemson, but it's not going to happen. Give me 1 second, guys. I just got texted real quick. Sorry. Had to text my wife. She had a question. 2 bracket busters, Iowa and West Virginia. Yeah. I had West Virginia going to the Final Four because I thought we were in a favorable bracket. I still think we were in a favorable bracket. So we just screwed the pooch with Syracuse. I mean, Loyola Chicago, they just knocked out Illinois, the 1 seed. So oh, Oklahoma State busted your brackets too. Dadgummit. That's not good. LSU. I saw somebody mention LSU. Give me 1 second. Oh, I do think LSU will be much better. But as far as their schedule goes, at UCLA might be tricky. UCLA is they're on the rebound too, but I think LSU wins that one. And then McNeese, easy. You already know that. Central Michigan, easy. At Mississippi State, should be easy. It'll be year 2 under Mike Leach, air raid offense. Not sure about COVID, having a full capacity stadium, so you might have to deal with cowbells, but overall, should be fine. Auburn at home, win. At Kentucky, win. Florida at home, win. At Ole Miss and at Alabama. There's your season right there. Because I think you finish out the season Arkansas, UL Monroe, and A&M. And I think all 3 of those are wins. So LSU's season probably comes down to at Ole Miss and at Alabama. So the UCLA game could be tricky too. Could be tricky for LSU. But I think LSU is talented enough and has enough coming back that they'll beat UCLA. But Ole Miss, Alabama, back-to-back road games, and both teams will be really, really good. I think LSU has a 10-win season. That's what I'll say. I don't know if I'm going to say 10-2, 11-1, what not undefeated. Sorry, I don't think they're going undefeated. But maybe beat Ole Miss, lose to Alabama, or maybe lose to Ole Miss and Alabama. I think worst case scenario you can be looking at 8-4. I mean that's just if you pull a blunder and lose at UCLA to start the season, and then Mike Leach gets you with the air raid. So the floor for LSU I think would be 8-4. If I had to lock in an actual season prediction, I would say 10-2. I don't like that back-to-back road trip for LSU, not at all. Ole Miss, Alabama, they're going to be two of the best teams in the SEC West, and you got to play them on the road. I don't like that at all, back-to-back. So I'll say 10-2 for LSU, with a floor of 8-4. I think floor would be a bad season floor. I think Ohio State actually takes a substantial. Hold on 1 second. I think Ohio State takes a substantial step backwards. Let's look at their schedule real quick. They lost a ton on offense too, and they're not quite the same as Alabama as far as reloading and getting to the playoffs year after year. Ohio State does not go to the playoffs pretty much every year. Alabama does. All right, so they start off the season at Minnesota. That's a win. Tricky home game against Oregon. I mean, you get them at home, but I don't know about that. That's I'll give them a half there. Home against Tulsa. Tulsa's defense is tricky, but since it's at home, I'll give it to you. Win. At Rutgers, win. Maryland, win. At Indiana. Well, y'all might actually have a good season. Penn State at home, though. I think Penn State will beat y'all. I know it's at the shoe, but Penn State's going to be much better. I'm telling you right now. Much, much better. At Nebraska, win. Purdue, win. Michigan State, win. Could this be the year that Michigan beats Ohio State? I know that's unthinkable, but I don't know. With the amount of players that Ohio State lost on their offense and Michigan lighting a fire under Jim Harbaugh's rear end, and it is in the big house, I don't know. Actual prediction, though, I would say the floor for Ohio State would be... Really, the floor and ceiling for Ohio State is super close. I'm looking at their schedule. I would say the floor would probably be the same as LSU, 8-4. That would be like basement floor. As far as how I think they'll do, I think probably a similar season as LSU. Not going undefeated. I think they get 2 losses. I think Ohio State goes 10-2. Probably wins the East. Actually, you know what? They could finish the season 10-3. Because I think they'll win the East and then lose to either... Well, I'll say Wisconsin. It'll be either Wisconsin or Iowa, but I'll say Wisconsin. And I think Ohio State will lose to Wisconsin. So I think Ohio State will have like a 10-3 season. Get to the Big Ten Championship and lose to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's going to be really good, guys. Really good. All right, well... I hate to jump off here, guys, but I got to jump off here because I got to go get my wife. Other cars in the shop. We should be getting that car back Tuesday or Wednesday. So I appreciate y'all dropping by, hitting that like button. But I'll be back on later on this evening to see how the madness panned out. So thanks for stopping by. We'll see y'all a little bit later on this evening, at least 10 p.m. I don't think I'll be able to squeeze another live show before then. But 10 p.m., another live show. See y'all then.